Happy Devil's Thursday. This is the Woo Report, episode 139, titled Bratt's Desire to Be a Leader is Producing Results. Bratt's Desire to Be a Leader is producing results. I'm your host, Sam Woo, here on the Woo Report, streaming live on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, Twitter Live, and on the Primetime Radio Network. You can find our podcasts all over the internet, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeart app, Amazon Music Prime, Audible, Spotify, you name it, we're there. Jesper Bratt's been on a tear. It's amazing what Lindy Ruff did, recognizing that he needed a little motivation. The benching, and since then he's been a pretty darn good player, Jesper Bratt. Earlier in preseason, he expressed his desire to be more of a leader on this New Jersey Devils team. Last season, we saw him muck it up, defending his teammates, making a statement that the Devils won't be pushed around, and Scotty and I were like, hey, Jesper Bratt, why is he doing that role? But regardless, his desire to be a leader, and since that benching, he has been on fire. He has been great. He has been amazing. And the most consistent player on the New Jersey Devils thus far this season. Most consistent player. I mean, it helps to be on the Dawson Mercer line most of the year with Andres Janssen. But his desire to be a leader has produced results. And that's what the Devils need right now. They need results. Last night, scored that game-winning goal, turned out to be. Since the last 12 games, 5 goals, 10 assists, plus 5 rating, 41 shots on goal, 2 game-winning goals for Jesper Bratt. As the Devils were struggling for about half of those games, or most of those games, he's been the leader of the team, producing results. And we talk about contract extensions given out to Nico Hischier and Jack Hughes. This is someone that Tom Fitzgerald may have to take a hard look at long term. Because since he's arrived on the scene with the New Jersey Devils at the age of 19, there were a lot of high hopes for Jesper Bratt. He kind of came in to the league and to the New Jersey Devils as an underdog. Making the team. He made the team. He continued to impress. But there were ups and downs with Jesper Bratt. But now I think he's matured and he's starting to come into his own. He is a very, very good player for the New Jersey Devils. He's a good team player. And when you're talking about producing results, he's talking the talk and walking the walk. Some players like to talk, but sometimes you don't get results. And I think what Bratt has done, he has separated himself from his teammates as becoming the leader, doing what he says, being consistent, being good at it, a hard worker, leading by example. And that's what he wanted all along. Much props and improvement to his game, that kind of leadership, that kind of strength within the organization to have a leader to come out and say, you know what? I want to be a leader on this team and I got to get my game together. And that's exactly what he did after he was benched by Lindy Ruff earlier in the season. So you have to ask yourself, should the Devils consider locking up Jesper Bratt to a long-term deal? Maybe not 8 years, or maybe they should. I don't know the answer to that question, but I could tell you something that leaders really don't grow on trees. You have to really want it. You have to really want to win at all costs. And my goodness, doesn't that kind of sound like a good leader sounds like Scott Stevens? I'm not saying that Jesper Bratt is the next Scott Stevens. I mean, it's comparing apples and oranges. But you gotta like him and his desire to become a leader, because amongst the team, it's contagious. His habits will be followed by those that see his success in producing results. And then the rest of the team can also be everyday leaders on the squad of the New Jersey Devils. And I think that's something that Jesper Bratt took it upon himself to say, hey, I'm not wasting my time here. I'm here to produce, and I'm here to fulfill my individual potential and help my team get in the playoffs and have a chance at winning the Stanley Cup. And I think that's important because we've talked about the Devils' problems all year. And the two key words that I've been talking about the entire time is leadership and accountability. Here with Jesper Bratt, we've got both. And you got to give credit to Lindy Ruff recognizing that earlier in the season when he did bench Jesper Bratt after he made that statement of wanting to be a leader, more of a leadership role of this team, and getting more involved and being more productive. You got to give credit to Lindy Ruff for pushing the right buttons here, and that's also a sign of a good coach. Now, we've been harsh, or especially me, about the New Jersey Devils, more on the results and of accountability. But this is one example that they did do right. And the production has, the results have shown that. Like I said, he's been tearing it up. 5 goals, 10 assists, plus 5, 41 shots on goal, 2 game-winning goals. If only the team can follow the leader and follow his lead, they too could be everyday leaders, because it takes a team to win a Stanley Cup. It takes a team to make the playoffs. It takes a team to have each other's backs. When the going gets tough out on the ice, when you're getting physically battered and you're struggling to keep up, that's when it's time to step up and produce and execute and get back to basics, fundamentals, and execute. And that's what being a good leader is all about. That is what a good leader is all about. And Jesper Bratt's desire to be a leader so far is producing great results, and it may do more. If he keeps this up and he's as consistent as he has been, and he doesn't let up, he'll become a great player, an effective player, a clutch player, because it seems like he's all over the ice. Thomas Zott says in the YouTube Live, almost a point per game. Hope Jack can get there this year. Yeah, but it's not all on Jack Hughes. Yes, Jack Hughes needs to be a leader as well. But right now, Jesper Bratt, the way he has conducted himself and the way he has approached the game is a blueprint for his younger counterparts, his comrades on the team. Because everybody has to be a leader. Everybody. It's just not one person. Alexander Ovechkin didn't win the Stanley Cup by himself. They had to build a team around him. And a lot of them were leaders. You look at the Pittsburgh Penguins. Sidney Crosby just didn't do it on his own. He had Malkin, he had Letang, he had Matt Murray, Marc-Andre Fleury, whole host of goaltenders. You can't win on your own. But what you can do is lead by example and produce results where it's contagious and the rest of the team is following suit. That's how winners are built. And I think that right now the Devils have the talent. I think the Devils have the money, the organization, but they need the accountability. They need the leadership, not just from the players, from within the entire organization. And that's all I have to say. Thomas Zott says, the leader we need is the person who leads butt puck out the door. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. No more butt puck jokes. Because you never know. You never know about Damon Severson. He may score that game-winning goal that we will remember forever. You never know. But just remember, everyone, winning solves everything. Well, I hope you have a good commute. This is the Woo Report. Brandon asked me, do you think Jesper Bratt is in Jack Hughes and Nico Hischier category of being a franchise player? That's a good question. I would have to say, what's your definition of a franchise player? You could still be a great leader without being a franchise player. Seriously. I think Jesper Bratt is going to be a good leader on this team if he keeps this up. And hopefully he does, but time will tell. But maybe that's what Nico Hischier and Jack Hughes needs. A leader. This is the Woo Report. Enjoy your day, everybody. Till next time, let's go Devils.